Hello friends, greetings of the day. Welcome to the online session of Business Economics. Today we are going to start a new topic of unit number 3, that is price output determination under different market forms. Friends, you all know that we are learning chapter number 4 of Business Economics, and in this particular chapter we have already completed the unit 1 and unit 2, and also in unit 3 we have completed perfect competition and we have already completed the monopoly market. Now in this session we are going to learn about imperfect competition, or we can also know it by monopolistic competition. So let us learn what is imperfect competition or monopolistic competition. First of all, let us see what are the features of monopolistic competition. The first feature is large number of sellers. Friends, this is the feature similar to perfect competition itself. In perfect competition also there are large number of sellers, and in case of monopolistic competition also there are large number of sellers. Second is product differentiation. Now this is very much different as compared to perfect competition. As we all know that in perfect competition the products are homogeneous, but here in case of monopolistic competition or imperfect competition, the products sold by every businessman, the products sold by every firm will be differentiated product. Next is freedom of entry or exit. It means that any firm it wants to enter to the market, they are free, or if a firm wants to go out of market, they can freely exit out of the market. So there is no barrier to entry, there is no barrier to exit. And then non-price competition. It means that in order to compete with the other firm, the firm does not take the advantage of prices. It means that they do not change the prices in order to compete with the other firms, but the firm utilize the features of the product, the quality of the product in order to compete with the other firms. So the product differentiation is the base of competition and not the price. Then price output determination under monopolistic competition. That means how a firm under monopolistic competition come under equilibrium point. Let us see. As you know that the firm under monopolistic competition is a price maker. Friends, we know that the firm under perfect competition was a price taker, but the firm in imperfect competition is price maker. If a firm is price maker, it means that it decides the price of its product itself. As such, the firm is faced with downward sloping demand curve of its product. The firm has downward sloping demand curve. It means that if the firm raises the price of its product, the demand will reduce, and if the firm reduces the price, the demand will increase. So there will be inverse relationship between price and demand of the product, so that the demand curve is downward sloping. Now as I said, in the characteristics also, the products here are differentiated. It means that the firm differentiates its product from its competitors. If the firm is less differentiated, if the product is less differentiated from its competitors, it will be more elastic. It means that if you do not provide more features, if you do not provide more quality as compared to your competitors, the demand of your product is going to fall down. So it will be more elastic. But if your product is more differentiated, if your product is more differentiated, it means that you are providing better features, you are providing better quality. It means that the customers are not going to leave your product, they will stick to your product, and the demand for your product will be less elastic. So we need to remember that if the product is less differentiated, it is more elastic, but if it is more differentiated, it will be less elastic. So let us understand the short run equilibrium. As you know that in order to find out the equilibrium point, we first require marginal revenue and marginal cost. So this is the marginal revenue curve of the firm, and this is the marginal cost curve. Where marginal revenue and marginal cost intersect, this point is considered as an equilibrium point. Below the equilibrium point, we find equilibrium quantity, and from the equilibrium point up to average revenue, in front of that we find price. So OQ is the quantity and OP is the price. Now price and quantity are determined. The next task is to find out the profit and loss. In order to find out the profit and loss, we require average revenue and average cost. You can see that this is the average revenue curve of the firm. This is the average cost of the firm. Average revenue and average cost are compared at equilibrium point. At equilibrium point, we can see that average revenue is above and average cost is below. It means that revenue is greater than cost. When revenue is greater than cost, it is considered as supernormal profit. We can see that AB is the per unit supernormal profit and APCB, this is the total supernormal profit. So the firm under imperfect competition earns supernormal profit in the short run. Next, whether the firm can make loss. Yes, let us see how loss occurs. First task we need to do is to find out the equilibrium point. In order to find out equilibrium, we require marginal revenue and marginal cost. This is the marginal revenue curve. This is the marginal cost curve of the firm. At the intersection point, this is equilibrium. Below the equilibrium, we find quantity, and from the equilibrium point, we stretch out up to average revenue. In front of average revenue, we find price. So OQ is the quantity and OP is the price. Now price and quantity are found out. The next one we have to do is find out profit and loss. You know that in order to find out the profit and loss, we require average revenue and average cost. So this is the average revenue curve, this is the average cost curve. We need to compare in front of equilibrium point. In front of equilibrium point, we can see that average revenue is less and average cost is more. When revenue is less, cost is more, firm makes loss. So this is loss per unit. AB is per unit loss and ACPB is the total loss. So the firm may make loss under imperfect competition also. So there is no guarantee that under imperfect competition or monopolistic competition, firm will earn profit only. It can make loss also. So this is the total loss. ACPB is the total loss as per this diagram. Now the long run equilibrium. As we know that the perfect competition firm is the only firm which can produce at the minimum point of long run average cost curve. It means that the firm under perfect competition is only an ideal firm because it can make full utilization of its resources. But the firm under imperfect competition is not an ideal firm because it cannot produce up to the minimum point of average cost curve. It has to produce lesser than that. Let us see how it happens. This is the diagram. Again, the first task is to find out the marginal revenue and marginal cost. This is the marginal revenue curve. This is the marginal cost curve. This is equilibrium point where marginal revenue and marginal cost intersect. At the equilibrium point, we find out OQ1 quantity, and from equilibrium point we need to stretch out up to this average revenue curve. At the average revenue curve, we find out price, that is OP1. Now OQ1 is the price, OP1 is the quantity. Price and quantity are found out. the next task is to find out the profit and loss. In order to find out the profit and loss, we require average revenue and average cost. So this is average revenue curve and this is average cost curve. Let us compare in front of equilibrium point. At the equilibrium point, we can see that average revenue and average cost are equal. At point X, we can see that average revenue and average cost are equal. When average revenue is equal to average cost, firm makes normal profit. Here the firm is earning normal profit. So we have found out normal profit here. But the next question is whether the firm is making full utilization of its resources here. If the firm produces OQ1 quantity, is it full utilization of resources? Answer is no, it is not making full utilization. Because in order to make the full utilization, firm needs to produce up to the minimum point of average cost curve. The firm needs to produce the minimum point of average cost curve. So the firm needs to increase its production up to OQ2 level. If firm produces up to this level, it can make full utilization. But should the firm increase the production up to OQ2? No, it should not try to increase the production up to OQ2, because if it wants to try to utilize this much level of output, its average cost decreases, but its average revenue decreases even more. So this will be the area of loss. This will be the area of loss. So firm does not try to produce up to the full capacity utilization or optimum utilization. Rather, the firm produces at the suboptimal level. Suboptimal level is OQ1. Firm will continue the production up to this level only. If it increases the production, average cost decreases, but average revenue decreases more than that. So the firm has to incur the loss. So the firm under imperfect competition does not produce up to optimum level. It produces at the suboptimal level. If it produces to the optimal level, it will make loss. This is the thing that is written here. The average revenue curve and average cost curve, they are tangent at point X, as we can see here. So the quantity is OQ1 and price is OP1. All the firms are earning zero supernormal profit. Zero supernormal profit means normal profit only. So the firm will earn normal profit here. The firm could expand its output from OQ1 to OQ2. It can expand the output and it will reduce the average cost. Average cost will be reduced. But it does not do so, because to do so would be to reduce average revenue even more than average cost. As I said, if the firm tries to expand the output, average cost decreases, but revenue decreases faster than that. It implies that firm in monopolistic competition are not of the optimum size. It means that firm cannot utilize its full capacity. That means excess capacity exists. Excess capacity from Q1 to Q2. This capacity remains underutilization. So underutilization exists under imperfect competition or under monopolistic competition. So firm under monopolistic competition are not of ideal size. They cannot produce at the optimum size and excess capacity remains under monopolistic competition. So that is all about imperfect competition or monopolistic competition. Thank you.